Hello friends, in this class we will try to understand medieval India part 2 from the period 1526 to 1707. As we all know, we have already done 2 classes on ancient Indian outline up to 1000 AD as part 1 and medieval India part 1 starting from 1000 AD to 1526. The 1000 AD and 1526 we have spoken about Delhi Sultanate. Now from 1526 to 1707, this period in history is called the period of Mughals. And we are going to see a brief outline of the Mughals. Who are the rulers who ruled? And one or two important things just to cover an outline. The important Mughal rulers which happened means who ruled from 1526 to 1707 happens to be Babur, who came to India in 1526 and ruled up to 1530. Then we have Humayun 1530 to 1540, then 1555 to 56. I'll tell you why there is a gap of this 15 years we will discuss. Then we have Akbar, who ruled from 1556 to 1605. Then we have his son, who is called Jahangir, who ruled from 1605 to 1627. Then we have his son who ruled, who happens to be Shah Jahan, 1627 to 1666. Though Shah Jahan died in 1666, we have his son Aurangzeb. He sat in the throne even when his father was alive in the year 1658 and he ruled up to 1707. So, this in a brief outline of developments or the rulers who started from 1526 to 1707. Now, one by one we will try to understand each and every ruler. A few points we will see in a small outline. I have spoken about Babur 1526 to 1530. As you all know, Babur entered India in the year 1526 and he defeated the last Lodi ruler who happens to be Ibrahim Lodi. In the first battle of Panipat, the Ibrahim Lodi had been defeated and Babur establishes his dynasty, which is a Mughal dynasty in India. Babur rules for a brief span of 4 years, but Babur is credited with conceiving the idea of ruling in India. Unlike his preceding rulers who came to India, Central Asian people who came to India, Babur did not loot India and leave India, but he tried to establish his empire in India, for which Babur is credited to be the founder of Mughals. Now, the important development which happened during the time of Babur happens to be he fought an important battle in the year 1527. The name of the battle is called Khanwa with Rana Sanga, the Rajput resistant force. So, he fought a war in the year 1527 which is called Khanwa against Rana Sanga and defeated Rana Sanga, and he fought another war which is called Chanderi, and in the year 1528 he fought this war Chanderi with a person who is called Medini Roy. So, he defeated Medini Roy also in the battle of Chanderi. So, these two important battles were responsible for giving a foundation to Babur in India, and Babur was a man who was known for his ability of singing, dancing and music. Babur wrote his autobiography which is called Tuzuk-e-Babari, and this is an autobiographical account, and most of the historians call this autobiographical account to be very genuine in nature. Babur covers the period in his Tuzuk-e-Babari about the battle of Panipat and all other events which happened in India. And Babur dies in the year 1530, and after the death of Babur, his eldest son Humayun, who succeeds him. Humayun rules from 1530 to 1540 and 1555 to 56. Humayun. Babur had many children. The first being Humayun, second happens to be Kamran, Asgari and Hindal. So, Humayun, his younger brother Kamran, then his brother is Asgari, then Hindal. So, being Humayun eldest, Babur asked Humayun to rule India, and so Humayun sits in the throne in 1530 and he continues to rule. And Humayun is the first Mughal ruler to occupy Gujarat. and he not only occupies Gujarat, which considers to be the western end of India, he occupies Bengal also within a short period of time. So Humayun is credited with the first Mughal ruler to occupy Gujarat and Bengal, and within a short period of time he expands his kingdom to the whole of northern part of India. But not only that he has expanded the whole of northern part of India, Humayun is also credited to be the ruler, discredited to be the ruler who gradually over a period of time lost the territory which he has conquered. For example, Gujarat he lost within a very short duration of time, Bengal also he lost within a short duration of time. And Humayun has to encounter an important force or factor in the name of Sher Shah, who happens to be an Afghan entrepreneur, an Afghan startup who wants us to establish his kingdom. We will discuss about Sher Shah as a separate class, but here just sufficient to say that Sher Shah proved to be a very important element, and he challenged the power of Humayun in India. So Sher Shah and Humayun, they have to fight in the year 1539 to 1540. Two battles have been fought. The first battle 1539 happens to be Battle of Chausa, and the second battle happens to be Battle of Bilgram or Battle of Kannauj. So in the year 1539, the first Battle of Chausa was fought, wherein which Sher Shah defeated Humayun, and in the second battle also Sher Shah defeated Humayun in the year 1540. So after this defeat of Chausa and Bilgram or Kannauj in the year 1540, Humayun has to leave India and escape to Central Asia. So because of this, Humayun is said to have lost the empire which his father had given to him. So Humayun lost the whole of northern part of India which has been given to him, and he becomes a ruler without an empire. So in the gap of 1540 to 1555, India had been ruled by Sur dynasty. Sur dynasty. The notable ruler happens to be Sher Shah, who ruled from 1540 to 45. Is considered to be, Sher Shah is considered to be one of the greatest of the rulers in the medieval India. Though he ruled for only 5 years of time, his achievements supersede many of the rulers who ruled during his time. So Sher Shah dies in the year 1545 because of an accidental misfire, and he dies in the year 1545 in a place which is called Kalinjar. Then after the death of Sher Shah, his son Islam Shah, he rules. But within a short period of time, the Sur dynasty which was established by Sher Shah has been declined, has begun to weaken, and it is during this time in the year 155, that is 1555, Humayun again invades India and defeats the Afghan resistant forces and occupies Delhi, Agra, and the part of northern India is occupied by Humayun. So Humayun re-establishes that empire which he has lost. Humayun is not only discredited for losing the empire which his father had given to him, again he is credited by the historians to be occupying the empire which his father had given to him. So Humayun lost the kingdom and found the kingdom in the year 1555. But within a short duration of his conquest, in the year 1555, an accident happens and Humayun dies. Humayun, while descending from the stairs in a place which is called Purana Kila is an old fort in Delhi. This old fort in Delhi, Purana Kila, was built by Sher Shah. In this Purana Kila, there is a two-storied building which is called Sher Mahal. And in this Sher Mahal, which was used as a library, and Humayun was sitting on the top of the Sher Mahal while he was trying to come down. It is said that by the historians, while he was trying to descend the steps, he stumbled, fumbled, fell down and injured and went into coma, and within a short period of time he died. So the historians say Humayun, whose name literally means fortunate, Humayun, whose name literally means fortunate, he became the most unfortunate ruler of India because he just conquered the whole of northern part of India, but he did not live long enough to rule the northern part of India. So within a short period of time, after the death of Humayun, the whole part of North India again is lost from the Mughals, and Afghan resistant forces occupy Agra, Afghan resistant forces occupy Delhi, and they began to push the Mughals from outside India. So it is in this year 155 and 1556, after the death of Humayun, Humayun's son, who is called Akbar, by this time who was in Punjab, campaigning against the people in Punjab. Humayun was present when Akbar was present when Humayun died. So Akbar is coronated as the ruler by one of the friend of Humayun, whose name happens to be Bairam Khan. Bairam Khan acted as a foster father to Akbar, and having coronated Akbar, Bairam Khan and the whole of a small Mughal army which was existing had two options, either to quit India or to fight against the whole Afghan forces which by this time had occupied Agra and Delhi and are trying to meet the small forces of the Mughals under Bairam Khan. And this force, they fought a battle in the year 1556 which happens to be called Second Battle of Panipat. The Second Battle of Panipat is fought between Akbar, whose army is commanded by Bairam Khan, and Afghan resistance forces, whose army is commanded by a person who is called Hemu. He is Hemachandra, or simply he is called sometimes as Vikramaditya, and his title is Vikramaditya. He is Hemu. So it is an example where a Muslim ruling class and a Muslim army he is headed by a Hindu ruler in the medieval part of India. So Hemu fights against Akbar's army in the Second Battle of Panipat. But despite of the fact that Hemu's army fought strongly, bravely, an accidental arrow pierced into the eye of Hemu and Hemu fainted, and the Second Battle of Panipat was won by the Mughal forces in the year 1556. After the Second Battle of Panipat, all this Afghan resistance have been over a period of time sidelined, and Akbar sits in the throne in the year 1556, and he rules up to 1605 Akbar. Just what are the things which happened during the time of Akbar? Akbar from the year 1556 to 1560 is considered to be a person who was not at all much concentrated on his administration, because he was just 14 years of age when he sat in the throne. Akbar was born in the year 1542. So he was just 14 years of age when he sat in the throne. So by this time many people tried to influence him. So in the year 1560 Akbar did not do much. Up to 1560 he did not concentrate much on his administration. But in 1560, after gradually sidelining Bairam Khan and many other influences who by this time is called as kitchen cabinet, and all this have been sidelined by Akbar, and over a period of time Akbar firmly sat on the throne and he began to give a good administration. Akbar is considered to be one of the most important rulers of medieval India, because he not only laid a foundation to the Mughal Empire, and that foundation which he laid was responsible for continuing the Mughal Empire from the year 1550s to 1850s. That institutions established by Akbar was responsible for keeping the Mughal Empire intact from 1550s to another 300 years, that is 1857, until the British defeated the last Mughal emperor. So Akbar's time, what are the important things which happened during the time of Akbar? You must know Akbar established many institutions. One is Mansabdari system. Next, Akbar reorganized the land revenue settlement, which is called Ain-e-Dha-Sala. Ain-e-Dha-Sala means it is a settlement based on 10 years. It is a land revenue settlement. Mansabdari settlement is an reorganization of army, reorganization of the civilian bureaucracy. This Mansabdari system as a separate class we will do, and Ain-e-Dha-Sala as a land revenue separate classes we will do. And Akbar also is a great conqueror. He conquered the whole part of northern India. During the time of Akbar, the whole part of North India was brought under his control. Akbar also was a great architect, because during this time a new capital which is called Fatehpur Sikri is built. Fatehpur Sikri is built in the year 1572. Fatehpur means victory place, because Fateh, victory, that victory here is an indication of Akbar's victory over Gujarat. So Fatehpur Sikri is built in order to commemorate the victory of Akbar over Gujarat in the year 1572. So he was a great builder, Akbar. Akbar also built numerous forts, the most important being Agra Red Fort. So Akbar continued to give good administration, and Akbar also was an innovator in a sense. He gave a new religious order which is called Deen-e-Ilahi. he gave a new religious order which is called Deen-e-Ilahi. Historians doubt whether this Deen-e-Ilahi is a religion or Deen-e-Ilahi is a religious order. That is a separate discussion. We will discuss about that later. What is a religion? What is a religious order? So most probably the opinion is that Deen-e-Ilahi happens to be a religious order as it is established by Ashoka and the policy of Ashoka which is called Dhamma. So these are the things which happened during the time of Akbar. So Akbar dies in the year 1605, and after the death of Akbar we have Jahangir, who sat in the throne. The real name of Jahangir is Salim. Jahangir means, Jahan means world, Gir means ruler. So he is taken the title Jahangir, which indicates that he is the ruler of the world. So after the death of Akbar, Jahangir sits in the throne and gives administration up to 1627. And during the time of Jahangir, the Mughal dynasty or the Mughal empire witnessed a great development in the field of art, painting, etc. And Jahangir's period is also characterized by an important personality in history who is called Noor Jahan, who happens to be the wife of Jahangir, and the real name of Noor Jahan happens to be Meher-un-Nisa. Meher-un-Nisa, who happens to be a Persian. She comes along with her father to work in the court of Akbar. Over a period of time, Meher-un-Nisa becomes Noor Jahan, and she is considered to be a great personality who influences Jahangir in order to give a good governance. We will discuss about the Noor Jahan as a separate topic. And Jahangir dies in the year 1627. After the death of Jahangir, Jahangir's children, they entered into a war of succession or a fight for the succession, and one person whose name happens to be Khusru, who is the first one, eldest one. Next is Khurram, next is Shahryar. So here we have Khusru, Khurram, Shahryar, who happens to be the children of Jahangir, who fought amongst themselves to sit in the throne. In this, Khurram kills Khusru, Khurram kills Shahryar and sits in the throne in the year 1627, and he rules up to 1658. Khurram in history is referred as Shah Jahan. Again, Shah means ruler, Jahan means world. So Shah Jahan ruled from 1627 to 1658. Shah Jahan's period in history is considered to be the climax of the Mughal Empire. It is the climax of the Mughal Empire because all the institutions established by Akbar and all the institutions had begun to give fruit during the time of Shah Jahan. The land revenue was surplus and the treasury was full during the time of Shah Jahan. So Shah Jahan focused his attention on art and architecture. And Shah Jahan rightly has been referred by the historians as the father of architecture, because during this time lot of architectural work had been done. He built Delhi Red Fort, and he built Moti Masjid. Moti Masjid is the Pearl Mosque in Agra Red Fort. And he built the most notable monument of all time, which is called Taj Mahal. And he also established a new capital which is in Delhi, which happens to be Shah Jahanabad. So Shah Jahan is considered to be the person who focused his attention on the development of architecture. And as fortune would have, Shah Jahan died in the year 1666. But even before the death of Shah Jahan, his children entered into war of succession. His children thought that Shah Jahan had died in the year 1658. There was a rumor that Shah Jahan had died in the year 1658. So his children, they happen to be Dara, the first one, next is Suja, the second one, third is Aurangzeb, fourth is Murad. The children of Shah Jahan happens to be Dara, Suja, Aurangzeb and Murad. Over a period of time, they entered into a war of succession because of a rumor which said that Shah Jahan had died in the year 1658, and amongst them Aurangzeb becomes victorious and he kills Dara, Suja and Murad, and he sits in the throne in the year 1658. Aurangzeb was the first and the only ruler to sit in the throne when his father was still alive. So it is against Islamic precedents and principles that a son would become the ruler when his father was still alive. But there are many interpretations which were given here. We will not go deep into that. So Aurangzeb sat in the year as the ruler in the year 1658 to 1707 he ruled. The period of Aurangzeb is considered to be a landmark, a turning point in the dynasty of Mughals, because Aurangzeb not only expanded the whole part of India under his empire, he brought the whole part of India, almost the whole part of India under his ambit. So Aurangzeb focused more attention in Deccan because he has to deal with a problem which is called Maratha problem. So Marathas, Aurangzeb's inability to have an effective policy against the Marathas led to a long drawn war with Marathas, and this war is considered to be Deccani ulcer of Aurangzeb. Deccani ulcer of Aurangzeb. So the Deccani ulcer of Aurangzeb was largely responsible for the decline and over a period of time disintegration of Mughal Empire. So this Deccani ulcer is an important factor during the time of Aurangzeb. And Marathas, again this also is a very important topic, we will discuss in the separate class, Marathas and Deccani ulcer. And Aurangzeb also occupied two important states. One happens to be Bijapur. He occupied Bijapur to the Mughals in the year 1686, and he occupied Golconda in the year 1687. So Aurangzeb occupied Bijapur and Golconda and annexed with the Mughal Empire. So Aurangzeb ruled from 1658 to 1707. But despite of the fact that Aurangzeb ruled for 50 years, some of his miscalculations with the Marathas, some of his miscalculations with the Rajputs, and the relation with the Mughals and Rajputs is a separate class which we will do later. And Aurangzeb's inability to come to terms with the Rajputs in an effective sense was also responsible for the weakening of the Mughal Empire, and Aurangzeb's inability to come to terms with Sikhs as a force. So all these factors over a period of time was responsible for weakening and decline of the Mughal Empire. So when Aurangzeb had died in the year 1707, already the weakening of the Mughal Empire had started. So in the next class maybe we will try to understand from 1707 to 1857. So 1707 to 1857 is also considered to be a Mughal period, but this period is called latter Mughals. They are called as latter Mughals because there is a total change in the character and the dimension of the Mughal Empire in 1707 to 1857. Thank you for watching the video.